All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the TSJW Network exclusives. I'm Trellis Williams, and right now we're about to do some interviews with the championship coaches from the MSAHA conference. And starting off with my first one with Coach Shon Spradley of the Laurel Lady Hawks. The Lady Hawks won the 16U Girls Championship and the 18U Girls Championship as well, and had very strong seasons. Coach, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Good to be here.
Yeah, and Coach, before I get started, I'm going to have to compliment you on that shirt. I like that shirt, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That's a good shirt there. All right, so this year it was a very strong season, going 23-3 overall in 18U, and then also 18-0 in 16U. What was the moment that you realized that your team was going to be so strong this year?
Well, we noticed in summer practice and just getting ready for the season that the players were playing with a lot, or practicing with a lot of confidence, and they had experience behind them and some good senior leadership. So we felt like we'd be pretty strong as long as we could shoot the ball good. I definitely knew that this was the most athletic team that I've ever coached since I've been here. So I knew that we were going to be okay on defense and things of that nature. But as long as we could shoot well, I thought we would do pretty good. I didn't really know that we were going to necessarily go undefeated in the conference and that kind of thing. But I felt like we would have a good season anyway.
Yeah, and I came down there to do the in the lab video with y'all. And when I came in there, I did notice I was like, this team will be pretty good this year. Just like you're saying, I didn't really know it'd be some kind of undefeated in the conference type thing, But I did go in there, and I was very impressed with the team. And I just noticed that really there was a lot of excitement going into this season, and so obviously it was probably very satisfying to finish off with a win. Now, I do want to ask this about the 18U girls team. So you guys lost early in the season to Lamar Christian, who's known throughout the state as a very, very good team. After that loss, you guys did not lose in 18U for 3 months. So do you think that loss provided a spark for the team?
It was definitely a wake-up call. We had played Scott County the week before that, and that was a really good game for us. I don't really know what happened exactly with the Lamar Christian game. Lamar Christian's a very good team. Mariah Pierce did not play in that game, so that was one thing that hurt us.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, we wouldn't have won that game even with her that would have played that game. But
yeah,
it was definitely a gut check. We had to question some things, at halftime and then after that game. And we realized that we were going to have to really pull some things together and, come together as a team. And I told them that, somebody's got to step up and be a leader here and, rally these troops. And they did, and they all pulled together. And, the rest of the season's history, they did very well after that point.
Yeah, and I want to go right on what you just said there with the leadership. So you had 4 seniors on your team this year. How do you think that senior leadership helped your squad this year, just overall? You could go into detail on that.
Yeah, well, experience definitely counts a lot. We had 2 players come back this season, in Sadie Williams and Trista Sims, who did not play last season, but they had played for 2 or 3 seasons prior to that. And they're both good players. So they came back in just like didn't skip a beat and came back in and played well. So, having that type of experience and, that type of confidence really does a lot for a team. And these players coming up that were coming off the 16U championship and all that too, with that confidence and all, I think it all just kind of melded well together. And, the team really played well together. There was no kind of negativity or anything, throughout the season. So I don't think that was a lot to do with the senior leadership, kind of keeping everybody, in the right frame of mind, and just keeping everybody encouraged and confident on the season. So that was definitely a big help for us having those seniors this year for sure.
So in 16, you guys went 10-0 in the conference, 18-0 overall. You guys ended up winning the MSAHA title, also winning the Gulf South District as well. So that was big, too. But in the championship game, y'all had one of the most challenging games of the season for y'all with the 23-20 win over the Meridian Flyers. The Flyers surprisingly made a run there at the end. What was going through your mind there at the end of the game? If you could take us through that game.
Well, I was, when something like that happens, you really have to focus on being calm and not panicking.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that, definitely be that way for my players, especially for the ones who had, just been in there the whole game and got to that point with that lead. And we felt we were confident that we were going to win the game at that point. But then, I put a couple subs in to see if we could, just kind of coast it on out there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Sherman girl, get those two 3-pointers. I mean,
yeah,
they were good shots. She made them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never in a million years would I thought that was going to happen. I mean, neither team shot worth a flip the whole game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's just one of those things. You just never know. You can't let your guard down, and that was really my fault for doing that. And I told them as much. And but I had full confidence when I put my starters back in there that we were going to be able to pull it out. I don't even think the other team got another shot off after that, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a half-court shot at the end or something like that. But it's just one of those things. Meridian played a good game. We didn't shoot good. We missed a bunch of shots at the goal that we should have made. But Meridian played really good defense. Our press was not very effective. And, I don't know. It's just one of those things. Sometimes you just have those games where you just don't shoot good, but you have to try to grind it out the best you can. And, we did. And thankfully, everything worked out in our favor. But you got to hand it to Meridian. They played a good, tough game with us that day for sure.
Yeah. There's a lot of excitement in that game because there's just a lot of good defensive energy. I remember when it was there. So that was good there. In 18, y'all went 8-0 in conference. Ended up going 23-3 in the season, which is a crazy, awesome record there. You guys end up taking on. Y'all lost in the Gulf South Championship to the Southwest Louisiana Knights, but that was only loss number 2 of the season. But just still a very good show in there at district as well. If we could just stop there and talk about district, how do you think that helped your team?
District really made everybody have to dig deep because all the players. I think I only had one player there who was strictly varsity. All the other players were playing 16U and 18U, and they all played in every 16U and 18U game. I think most of those players played 7 games over those 2 days.
Yeah.
So, by the time we got to that 18U championship, they were just, trying to dig out every bit of injury they had. But that was a very good experience, and especially for the ones that maybe didn't play as much on 18U, they got to play more 18U, in that tournament. So I think it did a lot for their confidence, and it just, sometimes you just got to play those games like that where you just have no energy left, and you just have to try to dig something out in order to push through plateaus and just become better players. So I think it was a really good experience for us.
Yeah, and so after that, the 2 weeks later, it's the MSAHA title game. You guys take it on the Jackson Victors, a team that definitely overachieved in the tournament. They're a 4 seed, and they found themselves in the championship game against you guys. Y'all took an early lead, and then Michaela Rummels on the Victors got in foul trouble, and so they held the ball for the whole second quarter. You guys were leading, and I noticed that you were pretty you're just you're pretty calm about it, like, okay, it's all good. But what was going through your mind in that situation? Had that happened to you before in the season?
That has never happened to me ever in my life, to be honest with you. But not for that long anyway. But I was just thinking, we're up 15. Let the clock run. Let's just get this game over with, and try to push through the second half. At least get half of it with us. Push through the second half. And, after a while, I knew her arm was getting a little tired there, so that's why I finally just said, "Look, go make something happen here." I don't think we. As a matter of fact, I don't know that we scored at all in that game. I mean, that second quarter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. I was trying to figure out what the strategy was there. But I was also was at one hand I was thinking, okay, if girls in foul trouble, they're probably trying to run some clock out. On the other hand, I was thinking, well, maybe they're trying to play some psychological games with me and get something set up or something. But I think in the end it was just he was just trying to push through to the second half and play the second half. But I was more than happy to let the clock run, and that was more of my advantage anyway. So whatever he wanted to do there, I was okay
with. Yeah, but you guys did end up pushing through and winning that championship. Is the first one, I believe. I believe it's the first one in Laurel's history. So that's a very, very big day. I know there winning that 16U, which that was a repeat, but always happy to get those, and then the 18U, which was the big one.
Yeah, three-peat for the 16U.
Oh, three-peat for the 16U. That's my bad. Yeah. So then you guys went up to regionals to Bowling Green, Kentucky, and I believe that was the first time y'all ever made that trip, and so that was for the Southeast regional. You guys took a loss in the first game by 4 points, but then were able to win the last two and grab the 5th place go there. How was that experience for the team after such a successful season?
That was a really, really good experience. We really enjoyed playing that tournament. I only had six varsity players go to that. And I only had 2 starters in Olivia and Mariah. The rest of them were subs. And I pulled up 4 players from the 14U team to put on the bench just to have a few subs.
Oh, wow.
So I was playing those games with 6 varsity players and only 2 starters. So really and truly, to lose that first game by only 4 points to a very good CEC team, was I was very happy with that. I felt like we could have won it. There's a lot of we could have won that game if certain things had happened. In the game, we ran into some foul trouble with a couple of players, and they had a really good post player, just a really big body, and she was just a big player. We couldn't really do anything with her. They had a couple of good shooters, but we definitely competed the whole game. We were down by a few points at halftime, and then we ended up tying them up at the end of the third quarter, and it got away from us a little bit in the fourth quarter. But that was a really good game. And then the other 2 games that we played were competitive, and the second one I believe we won by 10 or something like that. I can look at it right here. Won by 30. I'm sorry, by 30 the second game. But then the third game was a very competitive game for the players we had. We ended up winning about 10 or 11, but very good. I mean, those were all good competitive games. The atmosphere was very good. All the players were outstanding, just as far as their character and just the way they handled themselves. The other teams too. But I was very proud of them, considering that we only had a few players there, and they had to grind it out again. And I think it did a lot for their confidence going into next season. Matter of fact, I told them this is really the beginning of next season. I consider it the beginning of next season, preparation. Because especially since we didn't have any seniors there.
Oh.
So it was all players that are going into next season. So I think that's going to help propel us hopefully into the beginning of next season. It was a really good experience though.
Yeah, and that goes right into my last question. So, and this team is losing 3 starters from this year's team, which is a very good team. However, you guys obviously went undefeated in 16U, so that's got a good look for the future there. With 2 starters still returning for next season, where do you see this team standing heading into next season? How they're looking? I mean, you just were talking about how they look good at regionals. Sounds like they're looking pretty strong. But what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. You never know what a team's going to do, and you know, hopefully we can keep this same confidence up and this same, just encouraging attitude we have. But in the Kentucky tournament, we had the 4 of our starters will probably be starters for next season. So that gives them some very good experience. Even if they're not starters, they'll be the top 6 or 7 players at least. So I think, like I said, that kind of propel them into next season. I think that if we can just continue with the positive attitude with the team, I think that we're going to have another good season next year. They are playing really good. We're going to have to shoot better, though. We're going to have to be a little more disciplined. We had some foul trouble in every game we played in Kentucky, which I don't know if that has to do with differences in the referee and things like that. But we're definitely going to have to be more disciplined. And we've got some things to work on, obviously, just like everybody does. But I see it having a pretty successful season next year. Hopefully, we can do it again next season and win the championship again. That's always the goal, But as long as these players are competing and improving and continuing to show good Christian character and sportsmanship in these games, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And what I like to see is for them to have success, but also like to see them happy with themselves after the game. They felt like they competed, did well, and and held themselves to a higher standard than I'm as happy as I can be at that point. So I think we're looking pretty decent for next season. I really do.
Thank you for joining us, Coach. It was a good go. We're doing these championship interviews, and I guess I knocked out 2 championships right here with this one. Appreciate it, Coach. Appreciate it, Coach, for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me, fellas. I appreciate it, guys.
All right, for sure. Yep, and thank you for watching this TSJW Network exclusive. I am Trellis Williams. We should have a few more coming up here shortly. So thank you for joining us. We out.